Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about the pink Purloiner and Squid wood. First, I'm going to talk about the pink Purloiner. Enjoy! The episode starts at the annual jellyfish migration. SpongeBob and Patrick go to jellyfish fields to see several rare and exotic species of jellyfish which visit Bikini Bottom for only 3 days. The two begin jellyfishing, with SpongeBob using Ol Reliable. At the end of the day, SpongeBob was very successful, while Patrick was unable to catch anything. SpongeBob boasts the superiority of his net to Patrick, who claims he would kill to own a net like that. The following morning, SpongeBob finds Ol Reliable missing and begins panicking, posting missing jellyfish net posters all over town with a promise of a reward, even interrupting the local news to announce this. Mr. Krabs watches the announcement and agrees to find Ol Reliable, but only for the reward. SpongeBob is unsuccessful in his search and gives up on finding Ol Reliable. That night, he sees Patrick happily playing with his jellyfishing net before he goes to bed, and when SpongeBob realizes that Patrick's net disintegrated yesterday, he believes that Patrick has stolen Ol Reliable. The following morning, SpongeBob gives Patrick a confess a bear to try to make Patrick confess that he took the missing net. Patrick does not mention this, but does say he knocked SpongeBob's toothbrush into his toilet and put it back on the counter without washing it, stopping the conversation and making a horrified SpongeBob rub his tongue in disgust in the background. Later on, SpongeBob goes to Patrick's rock to talk and sees Patrick's shadow with a net. But Patrick still shows no sign of having the net. The next day, SpongeBob pretends to go to work, but actually spies on Patrick for 8 hours, but he sees nothing but Patrick standing still, and eventually had to leave when Patrick catches him spying on him, knowing he's been acting weird around him. He eventually sees Patrick carrying a box and uses a false mustache to disguise himself as a man who is interested in purchasing what is inside the box for $1 billion. Patrick says he would not sell it for any price because it is his friend SpongeBob's, and SpongeBob stops him right there, finally believing it was Patrick while taking off his mustache. Since Patrick did not realize it was him in disguise, SpongeBob points this out to him. Patrick questions his reasons for it as SpongeBob accuses him of stealing his net as Patrick defends himself as his friend, but SpongeBob insults him and brings up his earlier sentence. Patrick then finishes that sentence, saying, "gift." To his great surprise, it is revealed that the box contains a net built by Patrick for SpongeBob to replace Ol Reliable with. SpongeBob is torn between gratitude for Patrick's generosity and guilt for accusing his friend falsely. Patrick gets upset at SpongeBob for ever suspecting him, and prepares to leave Bikini Bottom. The bus arrives, and Patrick is about to climb aboard when SpongeBob grabs hold of him, begging his friend not to go while pleading earnestly for Patrick's forgiveness. The bus driver demands to know what the holdup is, and when he sees that it is SpongeBob and Patrick, he gives SpongeBob Ol Reliable, saying he left the net on the bus. SpongeBob is surprised at this, the bus driver adding he does it every week. To make up for his accusations against Patrick, SpongeBob gives Ol Reliable to his friend. Patrick is utterly overwhelmed by this gesture, and immediately decides to forgive SpongeBob for his thoughtlessness, and stay in Bikini Bottom after all. Everyone on the bus cheers, much to the chagrin of the bus driver, who claims that the two do this kind of thing all the time. SpongeBob and Patrick then run off to jellyfish fields together to enjoy their new nets during the last days of the jellyfish migration while the episode ends. Next, I'm going to talk about Squid wood. Enjoy! As the episode begins, SpongeBob repeatedly annoys Squidward by asking him if he wants to play, but every time Squidward refuses, SpongeBob thinks he wants to play later. After SpongeBob asks Squidward to play a numerous number of games with him, Squidward loses his temper and yells at SpongeBob that he will never play with him ever. After throwing him down a hole and covering it with his fridge, SpongeBob then gets an idea that if he cannot play with Squidward, he will make one of his own. He runs to his house and creates a wooden, mini version of Squidward, and calls him Mini Squid. After hearing that Mini Squid will be playing with SpongeBob if Squidward does not want to, Squidward becomes incredibly enlightened. While SpongeBob and Mini Squid play charades, Patrick walks by and thinks that Mini Squid is Squidward and also thinks he has gotten smaller and shaved his beard, even though Squidward does not have a beard, confusing SpongeBob and Mini Squid. At the Krusty Krab, Squidward tells a joke to two customers, but they do not laugh because of his mood while telling the joke. As SpongeBob and Mini Squid come in, the two customers start to favor him. Squidward takes a customer's order, but he doesn't like his attitude. Mini Squid takes Squidward's job as cashier and takes the customer's order, and the customer likes his attitude. SpongeBob cooks the patties and Mini Squid delivers them to the customers. He tells Squidward's joke to the customers, and they laugh because of his happy mood while telling the joke. Squidward starts to get mad at Mini Squid for stealing his joke. A lady wants to give Mini Squid a $300 tip. Squidward takes his hat and his job back, but Mr. Krabs tells him that he prefers Mini Squid because he is making him plenty of money and changes Squidward's job to dishwasher. Soon, Mini Squid starts impressing the customers with some dance moves. Squidward realizes that they are his moves and starts to dance, but the customers are not impressed since Mini Squid is dancing for their pleasure and having fun doing it while the real Squidward is both being a bad sport and trying to hog the spotlight. Mini Squid and the customers soon start dancing like jellyfish. Finally reaching his breaking point, Squidward rages at Mini Squid for stealing his life and starts squeezing him, bashing him, stomping him, and mauling him. Suddenly, a man tells Squidward to stop mauling the head of his new client. Squidward realizes the man is a producer that represents his favorite clarinet player. Squidward thinks he was there to sign him up, but the producer takes Mini Squid. He is offering Mini Squid a $1 million contract and a sequin suit. Squidward tries to impress him but fails, with the agent essentially telling him that he will never become famous. SpongeBob bids goodbye to his new friend. In the end, Squidward starts to sob because Mini Squid stole his dream but realizes he will never see him again. SpongeBob then picks up a wooden, mini version of himself. The two of them start laughing after each other, much to Squidward's dismay, as the episode ends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.